Now, last night we had ELN Jr. and Ferguson native Mia Watkins on the show, talking about her experience living in Ferguson and about the speech she gave at the Lessons Within Ferguson event this past week. Today in the studio we have communications professor Dr. Naima Clark, who moderated the event this week. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, my pleasure to be here.
Yes, and this is such an important topic to talk about now, but what do you think was the biggest takeaway that students got from the event this week?
You know, actually, I think the biggest takeaway was that students want to talk about these issues. I think that if you were there, anyone who was there could certainly attest to the fact that the students are ready to have meaningful conversation, and we gave them that opportunity. So for me, that was the biggest takeaway. I think also, the students who were there have a really great understanding of race relations in this country, and again, want to talk more about it.
It's good because it's a sensitive topic, but they're not afraid to tackle it. But like I said, it is a sensitive topic. And how is ELN doing in fostering the conversation? Events like that help, but are they doing everything they can, and can they do anything better?
I think we're trying. I think that certainly, you know, we're not ignoring these issues. But I think sometimes you're right. Like, it is difficult to have these conversations in class. You know, there's this sort of diversity fatigue that students have. It's like, oh, we're talking about diversity again, Dr. Clark. But I think if we keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, it just then becomes second nature for the students, and we just have natural conversations.
Right. And now, where do we go from here? At what point does conversation need to become action?
Well, I think in our community, I think that we can do small things. I think that we can just sort of, one thing that was talked about a lot at the panel was just treating people like people. And so just sort of normal, everyday human kindness on campus. I think that's one thing that we can do. I mean, I think certainly here on this campus, there have been incidents, and by and large, students have been very responsive and have been champions for, you know, healing racial tensions on campus when they occur. And so I think that, again, just kind of being, you know, everyday good citizens is really one thing that's pretty simple for us to do.
Right, and we should be doing that anyway, regardless of what's going on.
Exactly.
So, thank you so much for coming to join us today. The conversation about Ferguson continues this Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the Newman Lumen Pavilion, and the session is calling for prayers and worship for racial reconciliation, and it's open to students of all faiths. ELN students will lead the event, and it's co-sponsored by the Truett Center and the Multicultural Center.